Hello everyone. If you hear that roaring, rumbling sound, that's my refrigeration unit running back there. And I can't shut it off right now. I'm sorry, I hope you can look over. I hope it's not too loud. I've been wanting to make this video for a while and didn't really know what the right time would be or whatever. I've had some people make some comments lately that have suggested I need to make this video. Some people, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. And some people who are atheist, agnostic, have made some comments recently that they might, they're questioning their atheist belief or their agnostic belief. I don't try to witness to people, have you heard the good news about Jesus? That's not how I do it. That's not how I do things. But I have a rational, logical reason or reasons for believing in God. And I could go on for hours about that, but there's some things that have happened to me in my life that I can't explain away as, it's just coincidence or just a series of coincidences. There's some things I just can't. I can't explain away. There's some things that have happened and I go, yeah, that might be God, and then again, it might not. And then there's things that I think, some people might say that God was involved in that, and I don't think so. I think it's just one of those things. So a lot of these things that have happened to me are private in that if I told you about them, you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't understand, because of, you have to be me. You have to be in my head at the time and have lived my life and knew and as what was going on in my life at the time for it to make sense, for you to go, oh, I understand that, I get it. It's one of those things that you got to have all that context that I can't give you. You would have to be me to get it. Very personal things. But there's a couple, one in particular that I thought I would share with you all, and is not as trying to witness to you or to bring you over or convert you or anything like that, but just so that you can maybe get a little better understanding of why I believe the way that I do. That there is a God. Why I believe that there is something out there. Okay, some higher power at work. Before I was a truck driver, I was a mechanic at a trucking company, and every Friday I would leave home a little early and fill my truck up with gas, so that Friday evening I could hit the gate. Man, I was gone for the weekend. I didn't have to stop for anything, just go home. Well, this one Friday morning I woke up late. Made it to work on time, but I didn't get to stop and get gas, or at least I think this has been a long time ago, guys, so I'm a little fuzzy on some of the details, but I think I made it to work on time. Anyway, that Friday evening, now understand, the trucking company was here, all right? Then there was the back road the truck company was on. Then the next block over was a 4-lane, and on the other side of that 4-lane was the gas station. So I could see the gas station from the shop. So it wasn't like I had to go far out of route or anything. It was just annoying. I wanted to be able to go home, Well, I pulled into this gas station, and it's full. It's packed. That's another reason I went in the mornings, because it was packed in the evenings. Everybody's trying to get gas for the weekend on their way home from work. Well, I get, in line, get up there to the gas pump. I'm pumping my gas, and I notice, like the next pump over, there's this car that's having trouble. There's two women. They were 50s, 60s, and they're upset, and they're trying to get somebody to help them, and everybody's going, I can't help you. I don't know, And so I finished filling my truck up, and I walk over there, and, I'm thinking, at least I can help them push the car out of the way so other people can get gas, or something. Because all my tools were locked up in the shop. I knew I couldn't do anything to fix it. And probably, right there in the gas station, right there on the fuel islands, and what am I going to do to fix it, right? So I walk over there, and the woman's crying. She's upset, and you know, she said it won't crank. It won't do, you know, just won't crank. That's all right. And she says, we're trying to make it to the hospital, the regional hospital up there to see our mother. She's dying, and we're trying to get there. I'm going, oh man, you know, and I believe the women were telling the truth. You could just tell this was not made up. So I'm thinking, you know, is there anything I can do? And I said, well, let me just try. Maybe I can find the problem at least. You know, we'll just see. So I put, you know, get in, turn the key, all the lights on the dash come on, it goes through the gauge check and everything, and then I turn the key and nothing happens. And I mean nothing. You know, usually a starter will pull voltage from everything and all the lights will dim or go out and all that. Nothing. So I got her in the car, or her sister, I can't remember which, and I stood out there and looked down the hood. It was front wheel drive, so the starter was right there on the front. I said, turn the key a couple times. Nothing. No clicking. The solenoid wasn't engaging. I said, well, there's a place to start at least. I crawled under the car, and right there, just right in front of my face, is a wire off the starter, off the solenoid. Threaded stud sticking out with a wire, then a nut, then a wire, then what was supposed to be another nut, but that nut had come off and the wire was just dangling. Okay, this is something easy, you know. I think if I only had something that I could take that nut off with. And you know, my pickup had a toolbox in the bed, one of those gull wing toolboxes, and I thought maybe there's a pair of pliers. You know, I was just like I said, I think I was 20 years old. I didn't have a lot of money. All my tools were over at the shop. I had nothing. So I think maybe there's a pair of pliers or something in there that I might can get this nut off with. I walk over, I open up the driver's side, and you know, it was the little tray before you got to the main part of the toolbox there where you could put pliers and wrenches and stuff like that. The only thing in that tray was a wrench that I'd picked up somewhere. I'd found it somewhere in a parking lot or something and picked it up and put it in there. It's a little old cheap Chinese, Taiwan or something wrench, just one of them off brands, you know. And I'm looking at this wrench and going, well, it looks close to the right size. I wonder if it will work, you know, or is it going to just round the shoulders off on that nut and make things worse for these two women? I crawled back under the car, and not only did it work, it was the exact size that I needed. I don't remember what size it was, so I backed the nut off, took it off, put the wire on there with the other wire, turned it, you know, tightened it up, car cranked up. And the women offered to pay me. I said, no. I said, y'all take that money, go buy your mama some flowers or something. I don't want anything, you know. I left there with a good feeling, you know. I did something good for somebody. You know, and it's a good feeling, you know. And then I got to thinking about it. On the way home, all the things that had to happen in order for me, a mechanic, to be there when they needed me, when someone needed help, you know, that they needed a mechanic. I woke up late that morning, or left the house late, so I didn't have a chance to get gas, so it meant I had to get gas that evening. It was something simple that I could fix right there. You know, when the starter was burnt up or the solenoid was out or they had a bad battery, it was something simple that I could fix. The only tool I had was the exact tool I needed. And that I was a mechanic, I had the knowledge to be able to fix it. I can't rationally, logically look at all of those those individual coincidences and string it all together and go, yeah, that's just one of those things that happens. Logically, that does not make sense that that's just some random something. You know, I can't explain it away. And the only thing that makes sense is I was put there for a reason. All that stuff happened for a reason for me to be there. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I can't explain it away. You know, it's things like that. And I haven't had a lot of those experiences in my life. It's not like, you know, let me list all the miracles that have happened to me. And I've never had what you would call, or what I would call, a miracle happen to me. I've had some situations where, I know God was with me on that one, because I, you know, got out of there with the skin of my teeth, or by the skin of my teeth, you know. Some really hairy situations. You know, God was taking care of me. I've had things like that, but and other things, you know, that I was talking about, the personal things but nothing that you would call a miracle. But that one that I just described to you was one that I think maybe you can at least understand. Well, you know, I can understand why he believes in God, and maybe that'll give you all something to think about. You know, I don't go around, you know, trying to convert everybody I meet, but I do try to give people something to think about from time to time. So maybe that's something you all can think about. Just at the very least, think, you know, maybe that people who believe in God aren't just pulling that out of thin air, that there is some reason, they have reasons, and good reasons why. You know, now I'm not saying, you know, all of you guys that I know and that are my friends, y'all are not those atheists that just hate Christians, hate religious people, and, you know, all that. I know that, but just, I don't know if anybody's ever told you things like what I'm telling you now. So maybe, you know, just something for you to think about. And I hope you all have a good day and you're staying safe and everything's going well. So anyway, take care.